New numbers are out for OK2Say. More than 10,000 tips were received last year, demonstrating the impact that program has. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Wolfog.
And I'm Stella Daskalakis. The program is a confidential tip line. It offers students, parents, teachers, and members of the community a chance to report potentially harmful or criminal activity directed at students, schools, or school employees.
This was the second highest use volume since the program started 12 years ago. Mid-MichiganNow's Courtney Bennett is joining us now with more. And looking at the breakdown, Courtney, what were the most tips that were received?
Mike and Stella, majority of the tips fell in the other category, which includes anxiety, depression, and harassment, then suicide threats, and then bullying. For those who oversee this operation, they see the numbers and they say it proves it's working.
Students, parents, teachers, they feel comfortable using OK2Say and the confidentiality that it provides.
Behind the data are real-world outcomes. Program Administrator Mary Gager-Drew and Peter Hoffman, who is the program specialist, they say they believe this confidential tip line has saved lives.
I also give such significant credit to, our law enforcement partners and our school personnel, because as soon as they're taking or receiving the tip, they're moving on it as quickly as they can too.
In some cases, law enforcement has intercepted suicide attempts because a tip was sent to OK2Say.
We treat every tip that comes in as if it is a potentially life-threatening situation.
According to the data, through tips received in 2025, law enforcement was able to intervene on 57 incidents where students were experiencing a suicidal crisis. 41 weapon-related incidents, 220 contraband seizures were made, and there were 445 formal student safety assessments.
If something just doesn't seem right, trust your gut. We would much rather get the information, pass it on. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. We would much rather investigate that, than to have a situation escalate because a student was reluctant.
They have technicians reviewing everything that is sent in.
When the technicians receive a tip, they are immediately looking at the tip information. They're working with the tipster to try and get as much information as possible, including what's happening, where it's happening, how it's affecting the subject of the tip.
For the upcoming year, program administrators are concerned about the cell phone restrictions in schools, which begin this fall. They encourage students that if they don't have a phone to report on, they tell a trusted adult or report it immediately when they have access to their phone again. Since the program's inception in 2014, OK2Say has received more than 72,000 tips. Reporting can be done by calling, texting, or going online. For now, live in the studio, Courtney Bennett, Mid-MichiganNow.